Well, hello, and thank you for joining me for yet another topic this week. And this week, I want to explore about relaxing and truly relaxing. Are you doing that? Like, right, just kind of starting that. Are you taking time out of your day to relax? And what is relaxing? Like that whole disconnecting, what does that look like for you in your life? And why would you want to take the time out of your day to actually do that? What value would it add into your life? So, we're going to explore that today. We're going to kind of go through some things, and I want to share with you some ideas and thoughts around putting or incorporating relaxing into your daily practice of whatever busyness you are in to help you decompress and actually be able to show up in your career, in your family life, in your community life, in whatever life part that you are in this stage in your life right now, so that you can truly kind of be connected to yourself and be able to be present for others and to just kind of live more fully. So if you want to do that, are you ready for this? All right. So I want to talk to you about when is the last time that you planned a vacation? So when you planned a vacation, did you like look into hotels that you were going to stay at? Did you do Airbnb? Were you going to stay with family? Did you decide on excursions that you were going to take? Like maybe if you're going to go to a cruise or to some resort destination, was there some activities that you were going to plan on doing? And did you say, okay, these are the days we're going to do it. These are the activities we're going to do. And just kind of planning the whole day. Was there food involved? Were you going to eat out? Were you going to eat in? And it's kind of funny when you plan a vacation, it is similar to planning your everyday life, but we're just planning for vacation. What I find fascinating about that is I know that I used to be pretty good at planning vacations for my family. Like I would be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You know, we're going to go to Disney World, or we're going to go on a cruise. We're going to do these excursions. This is what we're going to do when we port. Like I was a planner when it came to the vacations of what we were doing. Even planning like how to get the money before we actually went on those vacations, right? So saving up the money, all those things. So planning that all in advance. And I felt good, when I planned it and I went onto my vacation, it felt good because I knew what was coming next or what was happening. Things that you can't control when you're on vacation, weather, just life scenarios. Maybe your kid throws a fit. Your husband doesn't want to do the activity you have planned. People are complaining. They want to do something else than what you planned. Right? So life happens. Life happens on our vacations and life happens off of our vacations. So regardless, life is going to happen. And we plan accordingly, but then life happens. And that's kind of what happens in our life, right? We have certain ideas or concepts that we want to implement into our lives, and things come up. And sometimes those things that come up, they like stop us dead in our tracks and we don't do it ever again. Or we use that as the reason why we won't do that again. Or maybe we'll use it as a reason as why we are going to do that again, right? We had a great time. It was a blast. So we're going to do that again. And the second time you do it, maybe it was that good and maybe it wasn't as good as the first time, right? That you did it, that you went on a vacation and you had planned this. We went to this one resort and it was great, so we're going to do it again, but it wasn't as great as it was last time. So, right, when it comes to all these equations and we're planning a vacation, we're going to plan our time, our relaxed time, which we think, right, we're going to have time on the beach maybe, or we're going to go for a hike out in, the woods, whatever that is, however that looks. I want to ask you, when you are doing that, when you're planning a vacation, do you plan for downtime? Do you plan for time that you're not going to be doing anything, that you're not going to be running to the next thing? And can you plan for that time? Is that something that is capable for you to do? Now, for me, speaking from experience for myself, is when I planned a vacation, there was always some kind of activity or where we were going to eat, or if we went shopping and we ate, like in the condo, if we did things like that. So there was always certain kind of planning or measurements I took to be able to have what I believed was a good vacation. And knowing that, right, my kids might not agree with things, my husband might want to do something else, whatever. I kind of knew that going in, so I was pretty good at being flexible with a lot of things. But one thing I noticed is when I would plan vacations is that in between the times where there was breaks, I was still busy doing stuff. Maybe not the same amount of stuff that I was doing at home, but still like maybe preparing something, or I felt like I was had to sit to do something. Social media wasn't big when my kids were little, so that wasn't something that I was worried about getting on the computer or doing things like that. But maybe even watching, TV, maybe reading a book at that time, maybe going for a walk and just decompressing. So I kind of had some times that I took that break. And kind of like I was saying, just like before, with our life, everyday life, we plan accordingly, but yet we don't necessarily plan those breaks that we have. And sometimes, which I have found more frequently now than ever before for myself and for other people, I've seen that with clients I've worked with, is that there is a downtime, but it's almost as if there's a fidgety downtime. Like I need to be doing something. I shouldn't be just sitting here. I'm wasting time. There's something else I should do. And it's kind of that nagging voice we have, and it's like we don't want to relax. Or we think relax is going and doing something, but we're doing it because we don't want to feel a certain way, or we don't want to experience an emotion at that time. And what I mean by that is, let's say that there was an argument on the vacation and things happened. And so maybe you went into the other room and you tried to read a book, but you really couldn't read the book very well, but you were just like angry, but you weren't like being present with the way that you were feeling, and you weren't going to try to resolve it. Instead, you just got angry and kind of stepped out and decided not to engage in that. Or you're doing something and it's not going the way that you would like it to go, and so you get frustrated with yourself. And so instead of just sitting being frustrated with yourself, you go and go into the kitchen and make something to eat, or we go and scroll on social media, or we go and watch some Netflix, or we decide to go shopping. We decide to go do something and go see something instead of just being present with feeling uncomfortable. Now, that's what I want to bring into kind of the conversation here when you're thinking about with yourself and the ways in which you might schedule relaxation in your life. Do you schedule that time to just disconnect? Or when you disconnect, is it hard just to sit? And do you find yourself wanting to try to do something else because you believe you need to be productive? That word, right? Productive. I need to do something. I need to accomplish something. I have too many things to do. So just sitting here for a few minutes is not a good use of my time. Now, I want to just step back and go, realizing that that is a thought we're having, right? It's a thought like, this is not a good use of my time. If I'm not being productive, if I'm not doing things, if I'm not getting things done, then I'm not being productive. And it's like, even when we plan the vacation, right? We plan the vacation, we put all this effort into this vacation. And then when we go on the vacation, maybe it doesn't go as well, or if it does go well, whatever that is, when we get home, we might be exhausted from the vacation because we were so busy, active, but we never took time to just sit and just decompress and just relax, and not think that we had to make some phone calls, not think that we had to do certain tasks in order to like read a book on some self-help. That would be my thing, right? I read a book on what, instead of just reading a book on just stuff, just to enjoy, not to analyze, just to kind of relax with it. And so these types of things are just kind of things to kind of consider for yourself when it comes to, how does it look in my life when I decide to relax? And relaxing can be watching a movie. Relaxing can be reading a book. Relaxing can be going for a walk. And those are great when we schedule those in. And sometimes what will happen is we don't necessarily schedule that in because we think that that's not productive of our time. Like we need to be doing something else. Or we decide that relaxing is, well, I'm in between phone calls with clients, or I'm in between doing laundry, and I'm at home with the kids, or whatever that is. And you're like, so I'm going to go do this right now. I'm going to go, I'm going to do this, and this is relaxing, but it's not necessarily, you're not connecting with yourself by doing that. You're kind of trying to escape the idea. So right when we want to really truly relax and disconnecting is not an escape route. It's not us trying to escape an emotion and a process, trying to do more because we think we have to in order to be more. So these are thoughts that might be running through your mind when it comes to incorporating downtime and relaxing time into your life. So I just want to make suggestions, like when you go on a vacation, maybe put in that time, actual downtime where nothing's being done. Now, I've heard people before say, well, I don't want to do anything, but my partner wants to be busy all the time, or they want to be doing something, or my kids need to be doing something. Let them decide what they want to do when they get there, and we don't have to be entertained all the time. I think this concept that we think we have to like entertain children the whole time we're with them is interesting, because it doesn't give them a chance to actually like decide to create or discover or to be curious about other things in their life, because it's all planned for them. So maybe doing that, and maybe even them being uncomfortable with it, might be a really good thing to do. So putting that in where that time that you are disconnecting, or letting people know when you're going down, oh, well, this time, I don't have anything planned for here. I want to make sure this 2-hour, 3-hour gap of vacation time, I'm just going to be sitting by the pool. I'm just going to sit there. I'm just going to be reading a book. And actually schedule that you're going to do that. And that is the time that you're taking, that you're going to go be at the beach, that I'm going to go for a walk, and that's your downtime, just to be present with yourself and disconnect from everything else and just reconnect with yourself. And so when we're on vacation, right, doing that, so incorporating that into our daily life. So how do we take that 20-minute break during our everyday busy life and not feel like we have to fill it up with something, that we can just be still and maybe go for a quick walk back and forth. What I used to do is, I was thinking I was being disconnecting. I'd go for a walk like to my mailbox and back, thinking, oh yeah, which there is some good there, obviously, but it's interesting. I'm doing a task still. I'm still completing something and believing that I need to be productive during that time. So what would you have to believe and think, well, I don't have to be productive. I don't have to create anything. I don't have to do anything during this time. This time is just me time. This time is just relax time. This time is just me getting to reflect on what it is that I do, even if it's, locking yourself in the bathroom. I remember times as a mother doing that. Even if it's going out to your car and just sitting in there, right? There's sometimes just doing that to reconnect with yourself and disconnect from your thought processes that you might be strolling along here right in the head, and you're just rolling with thoughts, and just going, I am just going to connect with my breath. I'm just going to be present with myself. I am choosing this time. So just like we would plan a vacation, and like I'm suggesting, make sure to plan vacation time and trying to make it where you can have that disconnect time within your vacation. It might make a difference when you get back. You might feel like you truly did take a vacation, and not that you need a vacation from your vacation. And during the days, to take those 20 minutes of just breath during your days, and scheduling that in and putting it in your calendar and go, this is important to me. This is what I'm doing. I am just going to sit and I'm going to write some things down for 20 minutes. Not about my to-do list, not about my task, but just maybe about what I'm thinking right now. What's going on in my mind, how I'm viewing the world at the moment. What's coming up for me, just to connect with myself for just this 20 minutes every day. So I just want to offer, when it comes to relaxing, it's interesting, because we could do other types of relaxing, which would be, so example, like massages or pedicures or manicures, those types of things as well. but connecting with yourself, whatever that looks like for you, to do that and take that time and take just that time during the day to just take 20 minutes to reconnect with yourself and to plan it out and decide that that's important. And the value that you will get from doing that will multiply itself as you do it more often. At the beginning, it would be normal for it to maybe be uncomfortable if you're a to-doer, right? If you get that to-do list and you just got to get things done and you're trying to crunch in things in between your time and do that. If that's your case, then it might be a little bit more challenging for you at the beginning, and that's okay. Let it be challenging. Let it be uncomfortable. Let yourself be present with yourself. Like I said, maybe write down some thoughts, whatever that is. Maybe it is going for a walk. Maybe it is, doing something where you feel like you can actually connect with your breath, your thoughts, and just be present with them and not judge them and just kind of hold space for that. Because when you start holding space for yourself, you put yourself as though you are important and that your time and what you're putting into this world matters. So you're taking that time to disconnect so that you can reconnect. So that's what I want to share with you about relaxing, about taking that time for yourself and putting that into your schedule, whatever that looks like for you. All right, my friends, take care. I look forward to talking to you again next week on a new topic. All right, bye.